Welcome back, everyone. Melinda and I are here with another episode of the DCP Q&A discussion series where we talk about the LH1 data collection program. This week, we're going to give out some hot tips and tricks on how to make participating in the DCP much easier and understandable. So, Melinda, what kind of hot tips do you got for us today?
Well, the tips and tricks can be grouped into a conversation about roles, adding information about others in addition to yourself, and where to input some non-vision loss symptoms that are fairly common in our LH1 community when you are completing the health and development survey.
Well, you talked about roles first. So, can you clarify what that exactly means when they get into this part of the DCP?
Absolutely. There are 2 pointers to share here. First, whether you are affected by LH1 vision loss, an unaffected carrier, or have LH1 plus, enroll as a patient. In other words, even though many of us don't feel we are ill or have symptoms, if you carry an LHON genetic mutation, enroll as a patient. Second, consider what roles to select at the initial point of registration. Consider that you may one day want to enroll a deceased loved one or a minor child. Select all potential roles that are applicable on the request access page at the beginning of your enrollment and at the end of the informed consent. This will give you that flexibility at a later date to add others.
You talked about other roles. Can you explain what other roles people might see when they are picking which role applies to them?
Sure. In the DCP, the title of the role that would be given to you when it is not yourself that you are filling out, but for someone else, is caregiver. You would fill this out about a loved one who is deceased, or if you are completing this DCP for a minor or individual you have legal guardianship of. After you have enrolled and created an account, you will be brought to the RareX homepage. Within your caregiver dashboard that you access from the person icon on the upper right-hand side, there's a tab that says Add Patient. Click on that tab to get started. If you have more than one person to add to the DCP, you will do this for each person you register. Once the person is added and you are back on the home screen, next to his or her name, all the way to the right, there will be a book icon that you will need to click on. This will populate all the available surveys to be filled out.
Okay, well, sounds easy enough. Now, if somebody has other health issues besides vision loss, what are some tips you can give us that will help people find the areas of where they can put these health concerns or health issues that may not be as intuitive as we might think or just a little more difficult to find?
Right. The Health and Development Survey is the very important survey. Everything you answer yes to will then create a more detailed survey called a level 2 survey for that identified issue. The level 2 surveys can then be found on your dashboard after completing this initial survey. Any symptom or diagnosis you have can be included in this section, even if you don't think it is related to LHON. You never know what commonalities we could learn when we put all the data together, looking at each person from head to toe. The tip here is how to find some of our commonly reported symptoms that may not be as intuitive as they ought to be. Two symptoms that come up within the LHON community are migraines and tremors. If you have either of these symptoms, answer yes to the question about brain and or nervous system. To have a secondary survey that allows you to share more information about either of these symptoms within the secondary survey that is created. Another symptom that comes up within our community that has been difficult to identify where to acknowledge in the Health and Development Survey is called Central Auditory Processing Disorder. If this is something you experience, answer yes to the question about ears and or hearing and describe the symptom under the field called Other.
I am so glad we're going over these tips because I, for one, suffer from migraines and I completely missed it when I first entered all my information into the DCP, and I had to go back and kind of figure out where that actually fit. So knowing this tip in advance is going to save you a lot of time. These tips and tricks were so helpful, Melinda. What do we have up for next week's topic?
We've covered some tips to make participation that much easier this time. Next time, we are going to answer some questions we have been receiving from those in our LHON community who have participated so that you have the answers to those frequently asked questions as well going forward.
So until next week, bye for now.
Bye, everyone.